Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, August 3rd. We are looking at Window Traders market profile of the S&NQ. And as you can see, Amazon earnings came out. And the market initially rocketed higher, especially in NQs. They went above the day's high. Now they're coming back in a bit. So, we'll see where how that transpires throughout the night. We have Apple coming out at 4:30, and we have non-farm payroll tomorrow morning. So there's a lot. Hopefully we get some decent volatility in range. Today's volume very light, although it might be picking up now with the after hours, but it was only 58 million with the pre-market. We'll see how we end up. Had a really good day today. You know, for a small, not a big range or anything, it was accommodating again. And I'm going to go over something that we talked about in the room and how the value that I think I add and everybody in my trading room adds is we're talking and anticipating about what can happen and what we're looking for to happen in the market way before it happens. Okay, it's never after the fact, whether we're right or wrong. Okay, I dig deep into this profile. Okay, there's a lot of great profile traders out there, but I don't think, and they're better probably than me in the bigger picture aspect of it, but in the daily minutia of the profile and what the market is telling us, I pride myself on being able to see the market very well, which kept a lot of people out of trouble today and into some really good trades. The one I'm specifically talking about, what the market was doing, forget about even the trade, just what we thought the market would do. So initially, we had TPO and volume POC down here in ES. Now, the high today at the time was E, and we started putting in some volume and getting 4 wide up here. And I said to the room, if we raise volume POC and TPO, we're going to make higher highs. There's no way you're going to have volume POC and TPO this close to the day's high without doing it. Now, before we even did that, we did get the higher high. We actually tried to go trend. We tried to go trend down, very small, failed. Trend up, failed. So those both trend days. So upside trend days only 34% hold, downside of 29%. We had a gap this morning that failed. Yesterday's held, so only 25% of downside gaps hold. We did take out both sides of the IB, so that's 32.7%. We do that, but we did not get the overnight high. So where everybody was getting excited, probably. You know, we only take out both sides for the overnight 20% of the time. So I really wasn't looking for that. One thing that did surprise me, we didn't get the 10 wide POC, SPY did. So when we were doing that and we pushed up and we had singles, I said, now we did eventually take out G's high, but barely. We didn't take it out in NQ. Generally, if the market's that strong, we should take out that previous time frame bar high very, very easily. We did finally do an ES, but it took a while and we got nothing for it. And I told the room, I said, if these single prints don't hold, and I don't think they will, we're going to come down and we're going to end up getting the POC and the volume POC where I said we would, around the 26, 27 level. And that's exactly what happened. So 2 things. I think I kept people out of longs, even though it was a trend day. Remember, it's context. It was a trend day with lower value. It was a trend day where we had already, we had the IB low and the overnight low. Yes, we did take out the IB high also, but it's always context, and you could just sense it. Just the tempo and everything else was lacking. I did not think it was going to hold, and we were going to come down and get the POC and volume POC here. That's exactly what happened. So people were cautious on the longs up here, and people were more aggressive on the shorts, and a lot of people made money because of that. Righty ends up with just the day's high and the day's low, just like we do. We're only 8 wide. I don't count N, so we're only 8 wide. I don't carry that forward. NQ did have a 10 wide POC, which we would carry forward. So we never took back yesterday's trend day yet. Look at this right now on this pop. We got into that first little set of singles, but again, that's after hours. That will not count. As far as the trading, I made 14.5 points in ES. I made 135 in NQ on both sides of the market. I actually longed NQ in A period because I liked the way it was acting better. Once it got above the one simple moving average 144, made 40 points on a long in A period in NQ. Then I took a long in A period in ES, thinking we'd fill the gap. And I only got 2.5 points out of it. We didn't fill the gap, but I still made money on it. I did take a short in B period, thinking we would take out A's low, which worked out for 6.5 points. What else? I'm trying to think. I'm looking at it because I have both of them written down. I thought NQ would get A's low also. It didn't, but I got 10 points out of it on the short in B. I shorted C period against a 144 in ES when it pushed up, made 3 points. And then in D period, I thought NQ would finally pop the top, made 15 points on a long to take out the IB high. I did lose. Now, G period, I took a short because I didn't think we'd go trend, but it started pushing. I only lost 1.5 in ES, and then you know what I did? I took the long in NQ, saying, okay, they got the IB high, they're going to go get the overnight high. Made 70 points on a long in G period. So cut my loss real quick in ES on the small short and made a lot on the long in NQ. I did take the short in I to fill the single prints in ES, and I took a short in J period when we got back up to where change was attempting to take place, which failed. And I didn't do anything after J period. Nothing was really speaking to me. I could have shorted the way I shorted J, could have shorted K and L's highs again, but I didn't do it. But again, fantastic day. For the week, 58 points in ES, just under 250 in NQ. As far as destinations, today we have the upside is 450.79 in SPY, 447.37 is today's low. In ES, we have today's high of 40.50, and the downside, we have today's low of 05.75. Now, that's another thing before we get to the chart. I thought we would test 4,500. Now, we didn't get that far from it, but we never tested it. And I thought there was a chance to test that and that other daily low into that decent-sized gap. But sellers got cut off tremendously at A, B, and C's low, both for us and in NQ. So they just weren't going to have any of it, at least for today. We'll see what happens tomorrow after all the earnings and the non-farm payroll. And then on the chart, I see this video is a little longer, but I hope it helps the way we explain things. So right now the main focus is the daily, because we have the gap as our main focus above us, and we are now down in the daily for 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row now we settled below the 20-day moving average, which closed at 450.90 today. So we'll see if we're able to get above that tomorrow, which would put us back into balance if we were to do that. The weekly is still forming its balance. Right now it's a 3-week balance. If we don't go much lower, I would encompass it as a 3-week balance, with this being the low of it, last week's high being the high of it. And then just quickly, because triple Q's with the earnings, triple Q's has an opportunity for an outside week down, up, and down. And they are down right now. I would call them in the weekly. So we'll see how that pans out. Anyway, I hope you had a good day trading. Thanks for the likes and subscribing. Enjoy your evening. And we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.